Okay, there we go. Here we go. Fucking hell. Recording. All right, welcome to the MMA Commonwealth Connection.
Yeah,
The
so that's
first
that's
official.
official now. That's official.
Yeah, this is the first official episode. The other
Yeah.
one was a post-fight show. This is the first proper official episode. So, Jamal,
Yes, mate.
a big fight was announced today or
And
yesterday. A
indeed it
massive fight,
was.
a blockbuster fight. Like, Tyson Fury versus Francis Ngannou. You thought that was a big fight? Nah. Jake Paul versus Nate Diaz? Nah. Stipe Miocic versus John Jones? Nah. We're here to talk about Mike the Truth Jackson versus Pat Miletich.
That is right, man. If you are an MMA fan and you say you aren't up at night thinking about what's going to happen in October between Mike the Truth Jackson and the Croatian sensation Pat Miletich, then I've got news for you. You are not an MMA fan. You are a fucking filthy casual, and you should slap yourself for even considering yourself an MMA fan if you're not excited for what's going to go down. I think it's a 3-5s. I think it's just a normal MMA fight.
Yeah,
But yeah,
full sanctioned
honestly,
fight.
I'm really up for it, man. I cannot wait to see what happens when one of the greatest strikers of all time, a guy who fought in MMA, fought in kickboxing, boxing, one of the most well-rounded fighters of all time, Mike Jackson, takes on the first ever UFC welterweight champion, Pat Miletich. And honestly, man, I can't wait for it. I'm so excited.
Man, if Mike Jackson gets a win over a former UFC champion, then fucking I'm never gonna watch the sport again.
Yeah, definitely comes with a couple asterisks though. But yeah, it is a complete fact though that Mike Jackson will have a win over a UFC champion, a first ever UFC champion, which is tough. But people are going to take it what it actually was. But Mike Jackson's got to definitely use it to his advantage if he does win.
I pray. I was reading articles when they were meant to have their kickboxing match.
Yeah.
And Mike Jackson's like scared of the grappling because in the article he said, "I want to kickbox Pat Miletich because I don't want him holding me down in an MMA fight." So I think because they used to train together, I'm pretty sure Pat Miletich used to like big brother him or something on the ground. So I'm hoping that Pat Miletich just like fucking lays on him for 3 rounds. That'd just be funny as fuck. Especially seeing how when Jake Shields was on top of him, he was like fucking crying for like, pull him off me.
No, definitely. I mean, yeah, but then Mike Jackson would just take that as it wasn't a real fight, So it's probably better if Miletich gets like a ground pound finish, something, submits him like an arm triangle early on. Because I feel like if he just holds him down and just constantly kind of slowly advances his position throughout the fight, Mike Jackson would just say that wasn't even a fucking fight, really. So hopefully Miletich can land a one-punch KO or something like that somehow. I don't know how that will happen, but maybe it happens.
Imagine fucking Pat Miletich landing like a fucking like Dan Henderson on Bisping KO at 55 years of age.
If it's going to happen to anyone, probably Mike Jackson's probably a guy who it could end up happening to be honest.
Well, he fucking leaves his chin out there. I've been watching, like, I can't believe I'm saying this. I've been watching tape on Mike Jackson for the last few days. And, like, fuck me, man. He gets rocked in every single fight. It doesn't matter who the fuck you put him in there against. He gets fucking rocked.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I don't know. For a guy who does have a lot of boxing experience, defense is really bad. Chin wide open in there. Like, even against Dean Barry now, who doesn't, swing a lot of straight punches, he was getting clipped.
Yeah, and especially like Dean Barry is so undersized compared to him, and he still managed to like fucking drop him. So, like, and also it's 175-pound catch weight, and fucking Mike Jackson's like fucking 170, like fucking soaking wet. So maybe Pat Miletich is gonna have like a big size advantage here, but also I don't really like the whole 55-year-old man having to cut down to 175 pounds.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like watching that thing you sent me, it was so weird. Like 55 isn't that old, but you look at Pat Miletich, he does not look 55. He looks about fucking 85, to be honest. I don't know. It's rough.
Like, did you see the clip of Mark Coleman like fucking boxing a few months ago?
Oh my god. Yeah, literally almost fell over shadow boxing when he just wants to get back to boxing ring. That's tough.
Yeah, I'm imagining Pat Miletich to look a little bit like that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Nothing but respect for Mark Coleman, obviously, fucking legend in the sport.
Yeah, Mark Coleman's a legend, but
out of respect for him, please never fucking compete in anything that isn't like a jiu-jitsu match or something. That's fine. You can do jiu-jitsu on like CFFC, fucking, one of them things, but nothing that involves getting punched in the head. Not even combat jiu-jitsu. Like, I'm not allowing this. Out of respect, if I didn't like Mark Coleman, I'd been encouraging him to fight again in a fucking boxing match against Jake Paul or whatever. But yeah, please stay far away from the ring because he literally almost fell through the fucking cage door shadowboxing.
Yeah, Mark Coleman's an absolute legend and fucking seems like a pretty good guy. So yeah,
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't actually go through with this whole like boxing thing. But I seen a thing where he said that he was not going to do it, and then the next day he put out a whole post saying, "Never mind, fuck the haters, I'm doing it anyway." So
Yeah, maybe we should just encourage him to the point where he actually realizes it's a bad idea. Maybe we've got to go that route.
yeah,
If the more we
reverse
say no, the more he wants to
psychology
do it,
today.
then that's tough. Yeah, I know.
So like generally, what's your prediction for Mike Jackson versus Pat Miletich?
Well, the first thing, I'll wait until like the week of the fight to do things on Tapology, unless it's like a fighter that I really like, and I'll make sure just to get that extra one. The second I've seen that, I went on Tapology, and I think I picked Miletich by first round KO. I don't know how likely that is, but I think he's actually the favourite on Tapology. I think it was like 80-20 in favour of Pat Miletich. So I don't know how much that's got to do with like people, the general this hatred of Mike Jackson, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like, it does have. I probably will say Miletich actually wins by just holding him down or something. But I'm not going to be surprised if like Mike Jackson gets him like a knee or something coming in because Miletich hasn't fought in a while, especially in MMA. And he just comes in and Jackson just holds a fucking knee and just catches him. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But hopefully that doesn't happen.
At the very least, like when you think about it, Mike Jackson's still old for like a fighter. Like obviously he's not Pat Miletich old, but like he's past his prime, and in his prime he's not even good.
Yeah.
So like it's like he's not skilled at all. Like he's pretty shit. His ground game's pretty horrible. And he has like a boxing background, but it's like who the fuck did he beat? Like so it's like really when you think about it, Pat Miletich, like even in his old age, is still fucking twice the fighter Mike Jackson is. So realistically, surely he fucking beats Mike Jackson. Like come on, man. Like,
you would think so, man. But it's one of them things where I'm I don't know where it's got to stream. If it's on YouTube or something, I'll probably catch it live. But if it's on like a $5 pay-per-view thing on some stream from America, I'll wait to see what happens after it. Because someone on Twitter will fucking post the finish if it happens.
oh, definitely.
I mean? But I just
Composer will play it.
Yeah, I don't want to wake up to and it's a clip of and Jackson gets the win and it's just him running in and Jackson catches him with something. Mike Jackson gets it done against Pat Miletich. I can just see that happen. I can see me seeing that on Twitter on the timeline, man. I just don't want to see it.
I can just imagine Mike Jackson with like a fucking snow roach exterminated and there's like a fucking shirt that has Pat Miletich's face on it. Some weird shit like that. I can just fucking see it now.
Yeah, it's got to be. We're talking about the walkouts for Adesanya versus the Plessis. What could go on there? Mike Jackson's going to have a fucking crazy fucking walkout, man. For the Pat Miletich fight, he's got to dress up as something. I'm not going to say what, but you can let your imagination go up with that, and then who knows what Miletich responds with? You know, who knows? Maybe he'll take a page of Drew Dober's book and do something. But I don't know, man. It's got to be. And honestly, with the whole thing of what it's built around, it could be one of them fights that catches a bit of mainstream attention. If they have like a press conference and they start really building heavily into why people don't like Mike Jackson, why Mike Jackson is so known for being so bad, it could actually get into the mainstream. Like same thing with Adesanya the Plessis, but obviously like with a lot less stakes behind it.
Well, with the whole like Pat Miletich, Mike Jackson beef, it apparently all started because apparently Pat Miletich went to like the January 6th rally or something like that. So with the whole press conference and everything, if Mike Jackson just goes on about him being like an insurrectionist or some bullshit like that, it could actually get like fucking mainstream like attention. Like I can see Pat Miletich being interviewed by Fox News talking about this fight.
Yeah, I could see it. Like Mike Jackson has had a couple moments of that where he has broke through, but and he's got connections as well. Like it was like a fucking he's like a photographer and I think he did a lot of journalism and stuff like that. So he's got connections that maybe they could get something set up like a fucking live debate on fucking Fox News. Jackson versus Miletich. I can actually see it happen. This is honestly at the end of the day, this fight will be remembered as like a fucking top 10 entry in a fucking MMA on point video of top 10 weirdest fights. Like that's where it's got to cement its place in MMA history on a fucking weirdest fights that you might have forgotten to happen 20 years from now on MMA on point. And that's where this fight ends up for me, to be honest.
Honestly, when I woke up and I'd woken up and the first thing I seen was a notification from you, and I opened like when you open it like on your phone, like you can sort of see the photo. I just opened my eyes like fucking dazed and confused, and I see Mike Jackson and fucking Pat Miletich on a poster. Yeah. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I know. Because I think we were talking about it kind of recently before it got announced, the kickboxing match that we're going to have. And then right after that, they announced the actual full MMA fight. I was like, well, I know I'm fucking sending this to. But
Like
yeah.
literally, I fucking manifested that shit. I start talking about Mike Jackson, make videos about Mike Jackson, and then the cunt gets a fucking fight announced. It's like,
Yeah.
and I was like, if he wins this, if he does manage to win, you got to do the Jake Shields fight.
Yeah,
Fuck.
100%. I don't know why that isn't happening already. I don't know if there's like a fucking some deal where Jake Shields can't even get fucking close to him. He has to stay at 200 meters away at all time. I don't know whether he got like a restraining order or something. I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, they'd definitely get to see that done soon. Full on MMA fight, Jackson versus Shields, 3-5.
If Mike Jackson like beat Pat Miletich and fucking Jake Shields back to back, that'd be the most cursed timeline ever. I don't think he would, but like Jesus, like imagine like beating a guy who like fucking dominated prime Dan Henderson.
Yeah. The Miletich fight is pretty much a coin flip of honestly whoever gets their game plan going first. But yeah, I don't see him beating Jake Shields, to be honest.
Yeah, I think Jake Shields is like even though he's a bit older, he's not like fucking ancient. He's on a whole different level to fucking Mike Jackson. Like Mike Jackson, yeah. Sorry, you go on.
I was going to say, Jake Shields is like still actively training. Like I don't know how often Pat Miletich is getting up to go to the gym. Pat Miletich's day looks like he gets up, eats cereal, reads a fucking hunting magazine, looks aside the birds in the bird feeder, and then goes to fucking bed. Like I don't know how often he's going out there. Like the most training Pat, like 50, like I said, 55 is young, but the way he looks right now, it looks like the most work Miletich does is get up in the morning and goes like this. And goes to fucking look at the birds at the window. Do you know what I mean? Like that's how it's looking, but I don't know. Jake Shields is still actively training stuff, and he's still going to fights. But Miletich is just sitting there on his couches watching TV, going like that.
He's just reading a fucking like hunter gatherer fucking book, like a fucking National Geographic like hunting magazine.
Yeah, the most work he's doing is having his fucking grandkids come over and get him to do the fucking VR boxing thing for Christmas. Look, we got your granddad, and he's like, yes, he's sick, and he's like, I'm going to fight Mike Jackson next year. And I'm like, granddad, what? Please don't. That's what I can see, man, honestly.
Fuck, that's funny, man. Like, I'm picturing the whole fucking scenario in my head, and it's like, it's so fucking realistic to imagine. Like,
that's the guy. That's what he looks like. That's the guy that it looks like. That's the age, and just like when you look at his fucking background, he just looks like one of them guys that just does that all day.
Well, I mean, he had like a fucking kickboxing match against a former boxer like 3 years ago. But like the guy he fought was like 3 years older than him.
Yeah.
And he still lost. But the guy he fought, Michael Nunn, I think his name was like a legit boxing contender back in the 80s. But he got arrested or something. But like Pat didn't look too bad. Like considering Michael Nunn is like fucking levels above Mike Jackson. Mm-hmm. So, but also a lot fucking older, so you gotta take that into consideration.
Yeah, I don't know what much more I can say about the Jackson on Twitch fight that hasn't been said already. But I don't know if it's got like, you know how they've got some of those like ex MMA cards, they've got like a lot of like recognisable ex UFC guys on there and stuff. I don't think it'll be one of them. I think it'll just be one of them events where the main event's Jackson Miletich and the rest of the card is just fucking O guys fighting each other from the area that just want to get a fight on a card that's got to be watched by a couple of people. But yeah, I'll watch it if it's on like YouTube or something. I'll stay up to watch it because it will be on probably quite late here.
Well, the card's in like Iowa, so maybe you could fucking get the ghost of Travis Fulton to fight maybe Pat Barry in like a fucking
Jesus. Jesus, yeah, a fucking prison yard fucking beatdown. Both for being nonsense and the fucking
a battle of the nonsense.
I mean, that's the allegations. Nothing. Like, Pat Barry's nothing proven, but you know that's just allegedly.
Yeah, I'm not going to say Travis Fulton, on the other hand, oh jeez.
Yeah, he's not really much of an option to get in there anymore, unless you do Fulton versus. Fuck, I don't know, man. I was going to say Elton Rivera, but Elton Rivera's not even fucking dead, so I don't know. I feel like we're only one episode in this. I feel like we've made a lot of fucking enemies from this one episode so far. I don't know.
Oh yeah, fucking. We're not gonna get We're not gonna get Alonzo Menafield or Pat Barry or Rose Namajunas on here anytime soon.
Yeah, but that's one of them things. You know, like the thing I was saying about Brendan Allen. I don't honestly mind Brendan Allen being friends with Mike Jackson because Brendan Allen to me is like he's a dog. He's a human golden retriever. He doesn't like think 2 steps ahead. So Brendan Allen gets a pass. Honestly, same thing with Alonzo Menafield. I don't know if you've ever heard Alonzo Menafield speak before, But let's just say I don't think he's the sharpest tool in the shed. So I don't think he cares about anyone's issues deeper than what he says in the surface. So Manyfield gets a pass from me as well. I'm still pro for Alonso Manyfield despite what he did to Paul Craig.
No, yeah, in 284 when Alonso Menifield, him and Crute went to a draw, he was like the fucking nicest guy on the mic. He's like, we need to do this. We need to come here and do this again.
Mm-hmm.
You got a good lad here or something. He was like fucking trying to like. It was so fucking. It was like the most adorable thing. He was trying to like speak in like the Aussie lingo. It was amazing.
He's such a weird voice. He's like a fucking real life Keen Peele sketch. The way he speaks, it's so weird, and the things that he says. Like after the last one to Crute as well. The way he was talking, it's so funny, man. But I guess that's just what he's one of them guys who just speaks like that. But I don't know, it's funny, man. Doesn't even sound like a real person.
I think my mate said he sounds like a fucking like white surfer dude, like fucking.
Yeah.
He's got that fucking type of voice, like a California surfer dude. Like,
yeah, he does.
It's amazing. Especially with how built he is and like fucking muscular he is, his voice just doesn't suit him at all.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. So do you want to talk about some of the stuff from the card at the weekend then? I feel like we've covered what there is to cover for Jackson Miltich, to be honest. I feel like we've went in depth more than anyone.
Oh yeah, nobody else on YouTube. I guarantee nobody else on YouTube is going this in on Mike Jackson versus Pat Militich. So I think we can move on from that interesting matchup, that blockbuster matchup. So what fight are you most looking forward to this weekend?
I mean, I would be lying if I said it wasn't Miranda Maverick versus Priscilla Cachoeira. Honestly, that's enough. Probably as the main event, but yeah, just pure fight-wise as the main event. It's a fight that's made for people to get fucking excited for it, just the fucking violence of it. But it's a lot of good fights in the card. I'm excited to see if Gabriel Bonfim can carry on the Bonfim name, because we kind of seen a bit of a disappointing performance last time out for Ishmael. But I mean, the card's fucking stacked up at the bottom. It's got a fight. It's a win-lose, a win-win lose-lose fight was what I called them, with Green and Ferguson, where you want to see both guys win, but you really don't want to see them lose this point in their career. And Wonderboy Pereira has been bumped up to the feature fight. Kaiser Holland's fun. You got fucking Pereira Yan, which is a crazy fucking fight. Like, the card is stacked of fun fights that I'm looking forward to. But yeah, just actually fight-wise, probably Poirier Gaethje. You just can't fucking wait to see what happens in that one.
Yeah, that fight should. If it's anything like the first fight, then we're fucking in for a treat. I'm also excited to see Alex Pereira at light heavyweight. Mm-hmm. I feel like if he beats Jan Blachowicz, I feel like Blachowicz is probably one of his toughest matchups at light heavyweight. And if he manages to beat him, which I'm picking him to do, then fucking him versus Jiri will probably be next. And fucking that is just like a dream fight.
And I could see him, honestly, I could see him catching Jiri is one of the big things, because Jiri will fucking play the Jiri game, Bushido, his fucking hand signs and that, he runs into a fucking left hook, gets slept. I could see it happening. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm picking Jan, to be honest, but I hope I'm wrong. Like, there was a point I was really rooting for Jan. The older he gets, it's a bit more like, you can lose now and I can be alright with it. So it'd be good to get Pereira up there at light heavyweight. He's a new bit of blood in that division that we really need right now. And like, the other guys are like Ankalaev could be tough as well, but Jiri and like Rakic and that will just strike with him. Jamal Hill might mix up a bit as well. I could see Jamal Hill. He's probably the toughest fight for him, because Jamal has got a fucking solid chin as well. And he can mix up. He'll probably get like a body lock takedown on him, and he can do that. But other than that, there's a lot of just pure strikers at light heavyweight that I could see Pereira just schooling on the feet, to be honest.
I'm just thinking about some like weird matchups. Like, imagine like Alex Pereira versus like Alonso Menifield, or like fucking Alex Pereira versus like fucking
Ryan Spann.
Yeah, like literally Ryan's. That was the matchup I was trying to get made when he was announcing his move up to 205. I was like, you got to do Ryan Spann or Johnny Walker versus Alex Pereira for his debut.
That could honestly lead to one of the most brutal KO. Like, especially if it's Johnny Walker, that could lead to the most brutal KO in the history of MMA. Like, it'll be quite funny, because just the way Johnny Walker falls when he gets KO'd, there's just something about him. His body knows how to make it a funny KO, but that could be the most devastating thing that's ever happened in MMA. If Pereira connects a left hook on Johnny Walker's chin, I think the world might end, honestly. I think that could lead to the apocalypse. I don't know what happens though.
Oh yeah, I think if he punches him hard enough, he might literally create like a fucking black hole or something, and the fucking earth might just implode.
Yeah, Johnny Walker's chin will definitely implode, but same thing with Ryan Spann. Nothing against like Johnny Walker or Ryan Spann, but like they must be self-aware that their chins are hilarious to watch in action in the fight.
Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann. like the fight itself
Yeah.
when Span versus Walker was one of the funniest fights I've ever watched.
But I picked Span to win that, you know, and I was one of the only people who picked Span. I was like, I fucking told you, because he dropped him twice and he hit him with a shot and Johnny Walker went backwards and like fell face first like fucking Quarantillo versus Kyle Nelson, where he just falls forward somehow. And then, yeah, you just kept getting elbowed in the fucking back of the head. And you can hear Safe Side in the corner screaming, "It's to the back of the head!" And then the referee just doesn't stop and he just keeps fucking whacking him right inside the head until he just goes out.
First, like when I was watching that live, I was like, "Fucking hell! Did he just KO him to like back of the head shots?" And then they show the replay. And it's like, no, they were literally all just on his fucking temple.
Yeah, but Safe Sayud, he 100% thought they were all to the back of the head. He was so annoyed because it's so many just consecutive fucking elbows and hammer fists to do what he think was at the back of the head, and he was screaming at him.
I feel bad. I feel so bad for Safe Suad.
Yeah, Safe Sayud, yeah.
Safe Suad. Oh my god, I cannot pronounce names. I write their names for years and then I try to finally like pronounce their names and I cannot pronounce their names. But yeah, he's got a stressful job with the durability of some of his fighters.
Yeah, I said this man, fucking God love him, man. God, if you see this man, respect. Because if I had to wake up every day and know that my fighter roster was like Menefield, Nzechukwu, Span, Matt Schnell, guys who are like the definition of 50-50 on whether they look the best they've ever looked in their career or get smacked with one punch and go out cold, I would be stressed out of my mind, because that is a tough roster of fighters to try to coach. Guys who you know could go out there and get sprung with one punch, even Schnell and that, or could go out there and have like a vicious KO. So I don't know, man. Round of applause to Safe Sayud, man, because that is a stressful job, but fair play to him, man, because he puts up with it. He's actually quite a good analyst as well.
Yeah, no, he's done good with Manyfield. Manyfield's on a pretty decent run at the moment.
That's true.
Don't know how the fuck he lost to William Knight. That Manyfield definitely won that.
Or got fucking sparked at gold by fucking 2020 OSP. I don't know how that happened either.
Yeah, that was a really weird performance, and also lost to Devin Clark.
Yeah, I don't fucking know about Manyfield, man. That's a weird career. That is a fucking strange career.
Yeah, especially because he stuffed every takedown from Devin Clark, but Devin Clark just won by like holding him against the fence.
And he kind of gasped bad in that fight as well, because I think he was still undefeated in that fight as well. So I think he was just trying to get an early finish and just blow his load quite early.
But at least Alonzo Menefield, he did beat the GOAT, Fabian Charant.
Yeah, Fabio Charant with a fucking Von Flue. That was actually an underrated moment in MMA when he lost the OSP and then subbed him with a Von Flue. That never gets talked about enough. That's quite a cool fucking moment in the sport.
Yeah, that actually is. I never actually thought about it that way.
Yeah, so people always talk about the leg weight thing with Silva and Weidman and Uriah Hall. That's an underrated little thing that happened there. He gets KO'd by OSP, comes back, and gets his own fucking rare submission on Charant. That was quite cool.
When do you think they'll finally change the name from the Von Flue to the Vunt Peru?
It pretty much is unofficially that if anyone goes from commentary, someone always goes, or the little elbow, so the Von Proof, as we call it now, it's pretty much known as the Von Proof. But if it's like a submission happens by it, it'll always be recorded as the Von Flue. I think like that, it'll always be officially known as that. But all MMA fans pretty much refer to it as the Von Proof by now, I think.
Yeah, definitely. So if Alex Pereira does win this fight, do you think he should get the vacant title fight next?
I don't know, man. Light heavyweight has been such a fucking pain in the arse of a division to pick fights for the past couple of months. Ever since the shit happened with Yuri and Glover, since then, try to see what's happening next in that division has been near impossible. But yeah, because I'm not sold on Ankalaev getting another shot, especially when he just hasn't fought since the draw. I'm not really sold on Johnny Walker getting a title shot either, to be honest. So, yeah, to be honest, it probably could end up being Yuri versus Behave, which is a massive fight, to be honest. In a light heavyweight, I care more about the big, interesting fights than I do who's more deserving, who's in the big one streak. So,
yeah, and I think I read that Magomed Ankalaev versus Alexander Rakic is in the works for the Abu Dhabi card.
Yeah, Ankalaev's manager said he's either going to fight Krylov or Rakic, and I don't know if people are dying to see Ankalaev Krylov fight again, because the first fight wasn't anything great or anything. Yeah. It was a close fight, but it wasn't like a crazy fun fight or anything. So yeah, Rakic Ankalaev would like to see, especially knowing what happened to Ankalaev's leg in his last fight. Rakic has got a fucking great fucking calf kick, legs like a horse. So that'd be interesting to see for that wise and see how Rakic comes back after his fucking knee blew out. But yeah, I wouldn't mind that, if that's how it plays out and then Blachowicz ends up fighting someone, maybe he can do Blachowicz, Johnny Walker, something like that. Yeah, I wouldn't mind that.
Yeah, apparently Johnny Walker's in the talks to fight someone for the November card in Brazil. It could
Hmm.
end up being a Nikita Krylov rematch, which I'm not really dying to see that. I remember that being pretty dominant for Krylov.
You could probably build that off because that was meant to be a card in front of a crowd in Sao Paulo. But that was like right when the COVID happened, so it was in Sao Paulo, but there was no one there. So they probably could build that as Johnny Walker gets his chance against Krylov again in Brazil, again gets the full redemption arc in multiple ways. So that's how they could probably build that.
Yeah, I feel like Anthony Smith rematching Ryan Spann really like fucks over a bunch of fresh matchups. Like, we could have
Yeah.
got Anthony Smith versus Nikita Krylov, which would have made a lot more fucking sense. But
Yeah, I guess you could have done Span versus like I was thinking they were going to do Span Uzdemir for Paris, but now he's fighting Murzakanov, so I don't know. I don't know why they're doing Smith versus Span. I can't remember the last time there was a rematch at MMA where I was so baffled about the pointlessness of it. The last time there was a because UFC don't do rematches that often with like guys who aren't at the top of the card fighting for a belt. The last time I
yeah,
remember this was like they like rematched Eric Anders, Darren Stewart, but even then that was because it was a fucking illegal knee that kind of fucked up the first fight, and that was kind of like a bit of controversy, unfinished business. I don't know what unfinished business there are because after the fight they fucking got in each other's faces and then shook hands and said, and Smith said like at the end of the day, you know, you're doing good, kid. All respect. So I don't get what we're missing here. I'm like, why the fuck are we getting this again? It wasn't like it was a competitive fight. Like Span got into his corner early and then just lost possession, got rocked 44,000 times, and got submitted. So I don't know, like why we're doing this again.
yeah, it's fucking. When I read it, I was like, why the fuck? Especially it's in Singapore as well, which is just like really random as well. Like,
Yeah,
I don't think Singapore's dying to see Ryan Spann versus Anthony Smith. Like, I don't know. Like, I could be wrong. Maybe Singapore has, maybe they're big Anthony Smith fans and big Ryan Spann fans. But personally,
definitely.
I don't think they're dying to see that fight.
My favourite Asian fighter, Ryan Span, ready to go, man. I'm so excited. But
Like,
yeah,
Carlos Goldberg should have fought either of these guys. Like, why is he like?
that's
He's
true.
on like a what 4-fight winning streak or something like that.
Yeah, I've got Uber because I haven't completely looked at it yet, but they've updated the rankings and I think Krut got removed or something, and they put in Zetsu. So Zetsu's ranked and Uber isn't. Which I know he got a win over him, but in recent
Yeah,
form, you know.
but even then, you could have done Kennedy versus Anthony Smith. Like, what? Like, there's so many fresh
Yeah.
matchups you could have do, but instead we're getting a fucking rematch that wasn't even like remotely
Yeah.
competitive the first time. But I guess Ryan Spann has improved quite a bit. Like, even him losing to Nikita Krylov, he looked pretty good in that fight before he got subbed.
That was annoying one because when the fight first got made for the main event, I was dead certain picking Krylov until the week of the fight. I switched to Span and it got rebooked, and I was like, okay, I'll definitely go with Span this time because Krylov had just got ill. And then he was winning, and he almost got him with a triangle, I think. And I was like, yes, that's what I was saying. Or maybe I think it was a guillotine because I think that's what I picked him by. I said he was going to crack Krylov on the feet and then stand and guillotine him against the cage. But he almost got a
Yeah,
guillotine on the ground, and then he just lost possession, got triangled, and I was like, oh fuck, sake, man. I was picking Krylov the entire time. I switched. It always happens with me, man. I swear.
Krylov learnt well from Paul Craig.
True. That is another case of someone losing to someone and taking their own special move. That's true.
It seems like it's a common thing in light heavyweight. Like, fucking, I guess they learn from their opponents in light heavyweight.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I guess it's a lot of the guys that like heavyweight are a bit newer and a bit more inactive as well. Because it's one of the divisions that doesn't have a lot of activity going in the top 15. Guys that like heavyweight fight like once a year. It seems like in the rankings as. So yeah, they've got a lot more time to learn off each other, I think.
Watch Ankalaev come in with no takedown defense against Rakic to learning from
Yeah.
Jan.
Well, yeah, and Rakic just completely recreates the Smith performance, but this time it's on Ankalaev. Yeah, I could see that.
Hon-
Definitely see it.
Honestly, I think Rakic is like. I know he like had that weird injury against Jan Blachowicz, but I honestly think Rakic is like the dark horse, like heavyweight.
Yeah, he's been that way for a while, man. He's very solid, but the thing I've always said about Rakic is his chin is a bit worrying. Something about it, man, because like, I think Devin Clark almost finished him.
Yeah,
Something about
Devin Clark
yeah,
dropped him briefly, but he got right back up. It was like I think it was just like the jitters because it was like pretty
yeah.
straight away into the fight. So maybe Rakic just, he wasn't expecting it. But yeah, I do understand what you say about his chin.
Just one thing I like heavyweight to always value is just someone who can just pace themselves, and that's what Rakic does. He's very good just pacing the fight and slowing it down. Which for the fans isn't the most entertaining, but to pick someone to become a champion at light heavyweight, I think that's honestly one of the most important things to consider, to be honest.
Like, I'm interested to see how his leg kicks do against Ankalaev, because, like you say about like Jan's got really good leg kicks, but like I think Rakic's leg kicks just are like a lot more powerful.
Probably the best at light heavyweight right now. Yeah, you know, Pereira could take that spot. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But the guys that actually ranked light heavyweight, I think Rakic has easily got the best calf kicks at least.
So who are you picking for Michelle Pereira versus Stephen Thompson?
Obviously he's got to be concerned with Wonderboy when he fights guys who are a bit more wild that he could get clipped. But I'm going to trust Wonderboy, especially because Pereira ain't known for having the best gas tank usually. Never mind the altitude. I'm playing that factor into it. Like even against Ponzinibbio, and that fight was like May, I think, last year. He's been out for a long time. And Wonderboy looked fucking the best I've ever seen him. Like top form against Kevin Holland. And Holland's tough, man. If that was at anyone else, one of them wheel kicks, one of them head kicks would have put him away. I think Holland's just that 0.1% of just ridiculous fucking chin genetics. But yeah, I think it'll be like a Wonderboy, either like late round TKO, or I'm thinking I'm going to pick like just a unanimous decision, 29-28, 30-27, something like that. I could just see him, really working him on the feet. Pereira, like, he's dynamic, but there's not a lot of guys who are really good technically. He's outstruck. Like, you look at guys who he's beat up on the feet. It's like Chaos Williams, who is not a technical wonder whatsoever. You know what I mean? So I could see Wonderboy teaching him a lesson on the feet, to be honest.
Yeah, I went with Michelle Pereira, but like I'm not confident, and the whole like high altitude is really like worrying me. I just think that Pereira, if he fights, and I know this is a big if, because if he doesn't really fight very smart, but if he's really smart, I could see him just snatching up Wonderboy's neck like he did against Salim. Now I know it's just because Wonderboy's like fucking good on the feet and everything, but his takedown defense is, I don't know, seems like it's lacking a lot now that he's older. And Michelle Pereira is just such a big, imposing guy at welterweight. Like, if he really wanted to, I feel like he could just suplex Wonderboy and just grab his neck. But obviously, the altitude, he's probably going to end up getting finished in the later rounds.
Yeah, if he does, if the game plan is to grapple, that could, because that's why I picked Kevin Holland. I thought he was going to grapple, but then look at that fucking knocked out. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, man. And like you said, Pereira ain't known for the greatest fight IQ, like the Tristan Connolly fight. I know it was a long time ago, but the Tristan Connolly fight. You know what I mean? But if his game plan is to go there and grapple with him, I think he's got a very good chance of winning. But I don't know. I don't trust him to do that, to be honest.
God, that Tristan Connolly fight, I remember that. Tristan Connolly, he did not get a fucking fair run in the UFC. Like fucking, I feel like he should have got another fight. I know he lost to Darren Elkins, but I feel like they should have gave him another shot.
It wasn't around for long. He lost to Pat Sabatini as well, which is obviously, looking back at Pat Sabatini, ain't a bad loss or anything. It was kind of a decent fight, not fun wise, but he made it somewhat competitive. I think he was out for a long time. I think Tristan Connolly had a really bad injury, probably, which kept him out from the Pereira fight, which was like 2019, late 2019, till April 21, which was against Sabatini. So he had a bad injury for a while, I think.
Yeah, he was like an interesting case as well, because if you looked at his record, he had like fights as high as like middleweight, and then he went to featherweight when he was in the UFC. Like he was just a bad motherfucker, really. He would fight literally anyone, and like I would believe him because like he literally fought like Michelle Pereira on short notice.
And won
a lot bigger. Yeah, and won. I thought he was gonna go on like a crazy run after that. Like it was a hot take, but I was like, damn, if he could do that to like a big opposing guy like Michelle Pereira, like imagine him against guys his own size. Well, it didn't work out like that, but
yeah, I wasn't watching that point, so I don't know how I would have reacted to him if I was actively watching the sport when he was coming up. But yeah, I probably would have been rooting for him, to be honest. But I came in a bit after that, you know.
Yeah. And then Michael Chiesa versus Kevin Holland. How you got that fight going?
Yeah, so I'm probably going to get this wrong now because I switched. Early on, I was thinking Chiesa, but the more I think about it, I'm going to go with, just to be specific, I think Holland will have him like a multi-clinch, hurt him to the body, Chiesa will shoot a bad takedown, and then he'll get like a Darce. I can just see that happen so clearly, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I'm literally on the exact same boat. I was leaning Chiesa all fucking the whole time, and then I just had a thought like, Chiesa's definitely gonna get fucking subbed, isn't he? Because every time he fights like a good striker, he always manages to get subbed somehow. And I think like Holland's like got really good jiu-jitsu. Like it's a really underrated part of his game. I just and like Chiesa's also really durable. Like he's got a good chin. Like I don't think if Holland's gonna like finish him, I think it's submission. I don't think he'll KO Chiesa. I mean Holland does have some like fucking crazy power though, but Chiesa's durability is like one of his most underrated traits.
No, 100%. No, like that's the thing with Case. It's like if a guy's dangerous on the feet and has a jiu-jitsu game that he can use, that always happens. Like it happened with like Kevin Lee, happened with Masvidal, happened with Luque. He's one of them grapplers who's just prone to get submitted. He's a good wrestler, but the jiu-jitsu defense against anyone who's looking for a submission always seems to fail Chiesa. And he's been out for a long time. He's getting older, so yeah, I'm going to go with Kevin Holland. But I could see Chiesa just half guard simulating the whole thing and making it quite boring. That's what I was picking up until recently. But I'm going to go with Kevin Holland, just especially because Holland's been having a bit of a ruffle recently. I could see him being a bit more motivated. Just beat Ponzinibbio. So yeah, probably like a second round Darce, I think.
Watch Chiesa come in K1 Chiesa and somehow like beat Kevin Holland in like a 3-round fight on the feet somehow.
Yeah, that's the fucking Chiesa fucking game with them and somehow comes out and does it after all this time. But yeah, Chiesa's got a really awkward striking game. I just don't think it'll work. I could see him getting like hurt, not even drop, but just backed up against the cage, and then that insinuates the whole finish sequence from there on.
Another big thing is also Chiesa's like cardio. It's more so at lightweight. I haven't really seen him gas out too much at welterweight, but like his cardio's always been pretty sus. So also the high altitude as well is probably going to play a factor here.
Yeah, no, and Holland's just durable, man. Like Holland doesn't like slow down. I don't know if the altitude will just affect him. Holland's one of them guys where I don't know because he doesn't train like doesn't seem like a guy who's always in the gym. He smokes weed all the time. Like you think he'd be one of them guys with really bad gas tank, but he's just durable. It just sets a pace and just keeps it somehow. So yeah, I don't think he'll struggle as much with altitude as Case would.
And then we got Tony Ferguson versus Bobby Green. Yeah, I've been dreading this fight.
I don't know, man. Like I said, one of the Fight Night pick guys picked Tony Ferguson, which I don't know, man. No, I don't think you can pick him at this point. Like Bobby Green is good and he is sharp. I could see it being a decision, but I could also just see it being the Iaquinta fight over again. He just clips Tony with something and just TKOs him. And I think that's probably going to be the sad reality, to be honest. Just Tony, look, he's so slow now, man. He's looking really bad in these last couple of fights, just so slow. And as Bobby Green didn't have a great performance against Jared Gordon, I was expecting to just smoke Gordon, but he actually was being like, more competitive than it probably needed to be. But if Bobby Green switched on, and even if it's Tony Ferguson at what his best would be now, I just see Bobby Green either winning that decision clearly. Like if he can just school Nasrat Haqparast and he can just school these guys, and close to Fiziev as well, I can just see him clipping Tony with something or clearly winning the decision. But yeah, Tony, I hope he wins somehow, man. But I don't think it's likely.
Yeah, I'm imagining this fight's going to look really similar to the Nasrat Haqparast fight, except I imagine he's just like Tony seems a bit even more hittable than Nasrat, so I can see Bobby Green like maybe breaking some like significant strike records in this fight. Sadly,
that's something. You can definitely see that next day on Twitter. Fucking Bobby Green breaks significant strike record against Tony Ferguson. All the fucking comments are just fucking retire, please. Surely if he loses this, he's done. Surely this is the last one if he loses. Even if he wins, if he beats Bobby Green, he should just retire and go out and win. To be honest, that's what I would do if I was him.
I think he might retire from MMA, but his bare knuckles calling his name, I reckon.
Yeah, definitely getting set up for Tony Ferguson versus Austin Trout at BKFC. We're definitely getting ready for it. Or maybe Tony's got to be in attendance for Jackson Miltich and they can get the winner. Knowing the fucking UFC, Tony will get a second chance on the contender series against fucking George Hardwick for the second season. That's probably what's going to happen. Knowing the fucking UFC, they'll be cruel as fucking do
that. George Hardwick will win his fight, and they'll be like, Dana's being like, I think this kid needs to take another fight. How about we do him versus Tony Ferguson? It's like,
he thinks it's the sickest thing ever. He's like, there's the Bo Nickel thing. He's like, the kid's good. Why don't you bring him back for the last week? And you know what? We're gonna give you Tony Ferguson. George Hardwick just goes, what? Tony comes in, let's fucking go. How fucking awesome is that?
Tony's like got a fucking stroller. He's strolling to the face-off.
Like within fucking frames, all people who carry with the tennis balls in the end of it just comes in with that. It's Tony Ferguson versus Hardwick. Let's fucking go. See you at the fights. everyone just starts fucking crying how fucking sad it's going to be.
Oh,
I can see that. I can
fuck,
definitely see that.
I'm fucking excited to see George Hardwick on the Contender
Same.
Series. Did you see that he got asked who he wants to fight? Like, if you say, hypothetically, he wins his Contender Series fight and he gets in the UFC, but he said that he wants Slava Claus for his debut.
Yeah, that would make sense. That'd be fun. That'd be a really fun fight, actually. Vengeance for the UK fighters from Hardwick after Slava beat Duncan.
I reckon, that's such a specific call out to. Isn't like a big name or anything. Like, it's a realistic matchup for his debut.
Well, that's just like how the Hardwick Bros are. The Hardwick Bros are very into with that stuff. Like, they know the game and shit like that. They're very pay close attention to the guys around them, even in Cage Wars. Like, you hear them talk about their Cage Wars fights and who they're going to fight next. They know what goes on. They know who's injured and that. They know what's going on. They're very, very into MMA as a sport, the technique and everything, and they just know what's going on. So I think Hardwick's probably watched his fights. And to me, to specifically call him out, I guarantee you Hardwick sees a big weakness in Slava Claus's game that he feels like he can expose. I think that's probably why he's called him out. There's something that he sees that he thinks, I've got this guy and I can beat him, it'll be a good debut win. And that's what he thinks.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, he's an intelligent fighter. Like, he breaks down everything. Like, what do you reckon his ceiling is?
Well, MMA Guru said he thinks he'll be the new Dober, but I think he's a lot more technical. I don't think he gets hit as much clean as Dober does. Like, the only time Hardwick's had a lot of damage was the Driscoll fight. We go jabbed a lot, but I think it's because expecting Driscoll just to shoot in the entire fight, and then he just so focused on defending takedowns, which he did. Driscoll didn't get done once, and that's a fucking AKA guy. So he's got good takedown defense, but he's got jabbed a lot in that fight. But I don't know, man. I could see him. I would like to see he becomes a fucking champion. Like, obviously, I'd like to see that, but I don't think I know enough about him to see that right now, especially at lightweight where it's more competitive. But there's got, I could see him beating like Grant Dawson in the rankings. I could see him beating these guys. So I don't know. There's a ceiling that's very high for him right now, but I don't want to curse it and him lose horribly on the Contender Series. Knowing me, man, that's the luck I'll have. But I think he's got a high ceiling, but I don't want to curse it or anything.
Well, I think you do think he's champion because you think he beats the future GOAT Grant Dawson. So
that's true. If all works out, then that can be a title fight in the future. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. I hope he wins the belt though. It could be a very big deal for the sport having a guy like him. Very unique personality. I've never seen anyone in the UFC like him or as well before. So yeah, I think it'd be a really good thing for the sport.
I'd love to see Harry Hardwick get a shot in the Dynamite Contender Series soon or something like that. I just watched his fight before, and he was talking shit to the guy he was fighting at the weigh-ins in Portuguese.
Like, yeah, that was funny. Both very unique personalities, yeah. Like, they could definitely do with them on a press conference or something like that. I don't know how well the humour would translate to Americans because they've got a very specific British sense of humour about them. But yeah, and people from that part of the UK as well, from Middlesbrough, never really had a big impact in the UFC, so it'd be good at market them as well.
Yeah, definitely. And plus, they're both pretty young as well. Like, they're like improving and everything. Like, I'd love to see. Obviously, it's like early days and everything like that, and Hardwick has to win on the Contender Series and all that. But I'd love to just see him versus Dustin Poirier, just for the boxing exchanges. Like, that's just like a dream fight for me. Like, obviously, we need to find out if he's on that level and everything first. But like, his boxing's so smooth.
100%. But by the time Hardwick gets to the top, I don't know how many fights Poirier's got left him at this point, to be honest.
Yeah, so, I think if he loses, he possibly could retire this weekend, honestly.
Yeah, I could see. I don't think he will, but I wouldn't be that surprised. Like, Poirier, people forget Poirier's taken a lot of damage in his career. He doesn't get knocked out a lot, but he's taken a lot of kind of head trauma in his career. Same thing with Gaethje, but Gaethje I think is a bit younger as well. I know, actually, I think they're the same age, actually. They might both like 33, 34.
Yeah, they're both the same age, but I think they're both 34.
Yeah, but Gaethje, I don't know why Gaethje just seems younger. I guess because Poirier's been in the UFC for a lot longer, that probably has something to do with it. But yeah, I don't know how many fights either of them got left in them to the point where we see them fight these upcoming guys that are not even in the UFC yet. But yeah, one can dream, and hopefully maybe BKFC one day, Poirier when he's 40 versus Hardwick, so you never know what happens.
Oh my god. Imagine Dustin's like style of boxing and bare knuckle would be very interesting. I feel like he would end up breaking his knuckles quite a lot.
That's true. I mean, if we're still seeing like Mendes and Alvarez go at it, you'd probably see Poirier do one-off BKFC fight versus one of them guys. I could see that happening also.
I think Poirier said that he like his career, his contract that he's on, he has like 7 fights or something. I think he said he's going to finish that contract at welterweight. So it'll be interesting to see who he fights if he does eventually move up.
I don't know how I feel about Poirier at welterweight because he ain't the biggest guy anyway, just like size wise. So I don't know, man. I'll be that. I've always kind of rooted for Poirier as well, even though I think he's a bit of a cunt, just the way he reacts to fights and stuff after. He's a bit of a sore winner, which I always hate. But just fight wise and stuff like that, I don't know how he can't be a fan of his. And
Yeah, he's definitely never in a boring fight.
100%, 100%. But I don't know about him at welterweight, man. I'm not sure if I'm convinced on how well it would work out for him, to be honest.
Well, if he does ever move up to welterweight, I know the perfect fight for him. Dustin Poirier versus Jack Della Maddalena. Just take my money.
Definitely. Well, it was him versus Colby was in the talks after Colby beat Masvidal because Colby called him out, but that never ended up happening. That probably won't even happen now. But yeah, just for like that, very similar styles, honestly, and just pure boxing wise with him and JDM. And if JDM continues to win to that point, I can see it happening.
Plus, they both love to throw gillies that don't fucking work.
That is true. That is true. The most failed guillotines in the entire MMA fight between Poirier and JDM. That's actually true. Yeah.
It'd be such an insane event if Dustin goes for a guillotine, he misses. Fucking Jack jumps up and goes in for one himself. His doesn't work. Dustin quickly gets back up. It's just a fucking endless loop until the end of the round.
Yeah, 15 minutes of failed guillotines. It's like a fucking cartoon. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Yeah, everyone crazy in commentary.
Everyone thinks it's gonna be like some 3-round war, and it just turns into them both fucking going for gillies.
A fucking actual 50-minute seminar on how not to get guillotined.
Nah, I don't think JDM will be going for any more gillies. Fucking his next fight. I think his coach probably had a bit of a go at him afterwards.
Yeah, Poirier will though. Poirier's got to continue to do after the rest of his career.
Oh yeah, Poirier will be like fucking teeing off on Islam Makhachev, and then he'll go for a fucking guillotine out of nowhere. Fucking lose.
Can actually fucking see that happen as well. If he ever fought Islam, he cracks him with like a fucking right hook. What he's got to do? He's got to do it. He's got to no, fucking guillotine. Terrible.
I can just picture him like rocking fucking Islam. Islam's like rocked as fuck. He's like biting the absolute fuck out of him against the cage. He buckles Islam. He's on the way to finishing like one more punch, and then he goes in for the gilly.
A fucking flying guillotine, he just fucking misses and something in his back. Yeah, good see it.
Fucking.
Good.
That would piss me off so much. Like fucking, he like puts on like a 5-round demolition of Islam and then fucks it up with a gilly at the end.
And he gets fucking Von Floyd, yeah, right at the end. Keeps the guillotine locked in.
There's like 20 seconds left, so he thinks it's a joke. Oh, it'll be funny, I'll go for a gilly as like a fucking joke. And he somehow just gets like rear naked in like fucking the last like 6 seconds.
He misses and fucking breaks his fucking spine in the floor. Gets a fucking TQ injury for Islam.
Oh my god, yeah, he got that hip surgery. Imagine if he goes for the gilly and lands on like the hip the wrong way and just fucking can't get back up. It's like the end of the 4th round and he just can't fucking stand back up after like a 4-round fucking sweep.
The fucking sat this way ever. He's like, win or lose, I'm retiring after this one. Just fucking skills Makhachev. Misses a guillotine and breaks his fucking hip in the floor. Can't get up.
Actually, you know when fucking Merab fought Ricky Simone, they classed it as a TKO because Merab didn't stand up at the end of the 3rd. Yeah. So imagine if Dustin beat the fucking shit out of Islam and then goes for the gilly at the end of the 5th, and then he can't stand at the end of the 5th, so they class it as a TKO for Islam.
Fucking hell, man. That'd be so sad. I can actually see that happening. I don't know why. There's the moment in commentary of, he's going for the guillotine. Oh no, what's happened?
Fucking, he goes for the gilly. He goes for the gilly and fucking Islam just spine busts him in the fucking canvas. He literally, he paralyzes Dustin because he went for the gilly. Like, Jesus Christ.
Fucking Batista, fucking WWE spine bust out the floor.
He literally fucking Dustin just goes, he rampage slams fucking Dustin.
I'm just like, Poirier been talking shit, so Poirier's getting stretched out, they're just still talking shit about that one. You know what's happening.
Dustin just is fucking screaming at Islam on the ground. Like, oh my god. He'd be saying it's fool's gold. That's fool's gold. He'd be on the ground paralyzed, pointing at the belt, and that's fool's gold. That's fool's gold.
The fucking UFC's doctors try to tell him he's never going to walk again. He's just telling Islam that he's fucking coming back for that belt.
I can just imagine that fucking McGregor tweets that would pop up on the broadcast too.
Just about fucking 4 skull emojis next to Pody on the floor, just lifeless.
He would have like a fucking. He would just say something like "Karma's not a karma's a mirror," or whatever the fuck Dustin said after.
Yeah.
He would say
Yeah.
something like that, yeah, and then he'd say, "Yeah, mad backwards hillbilly cunt" or something like that.
The McGregor fucking Twitter voices after that would go fucking crazy, laughing at Pody's fucking lifeless fucking body in the floor.
There'd just be a 30-second fucking voice message of him laughing like a fucking hysterical fucking hyena.
Yeah, like when he fucking had that video of him laughing at Bilal on his TV. Yeah, definitely like that.
That was the fucking greatest thing I've ever fucking seen. Like he's saying, "Get you off my telly," and then it goes on to fucking Bilal, and he's laughing hysterically as Bilal. Bilal's just minding his own fucking business on the broadcast.
Yeah, but I don't know how the fuck we got into Dustin Poirier's worst life after the UFC. No, I like Dustin Poirier as well, by the way. I don't know if anyone get us wrong. I actually like Poirier, but it was just a funny thought of something that could potentially happen.
Yeah, no, definitely. Just because he's always cursed in fucking championship matches, and the ghillie never fucking works. So somehow he'd go for the ghillie and just, yeah, you'd lose his ability to walk.
It's got to pay off somehow. MMA always works out like a fucking movie in the end, and Poirier's end of his career being a failed guillotine attempt would just be so accurate to how the sport works, honestly. No, don't wish any ill on Dustin Poirier, but I could just see it's just how MMA works, man. I could actually see it happening if he ever got to a title fight against Islam. It's actually a likely outcome, to be honest.
Fucking somehow he'll be teeing off and he'll go for a ghillie. I fucking just know it. Anyway, moving on.
Yep. Swiftly move on from the Dustin Poirier lifeless body.
Yeah, but like Dustin Poirier, if you ever want to come on, we have no ill will against you. We're big fans. I want to fucking. Have you ever tried his hot sauce?
I haven't. No, I don't even know if they ship here, to be honest. But yeah.
Yeah, I haven't tried it either. I want to though. It looks really nice.
I felt everyone that's tried it said good things about it. I've seen one of the Fighting Apex guys shilling it, saying it was nice. So yeah, I might have to give that a try if I ever see it online or anything.
Yeah, definitely. You ever tried Proper 12?
I haven't. I've never actually seen that before. I don't even sell in shops. I think I've got to order it online. So maybe for the McGregor fight, I'll order a nice bottle of proper number 12 Irish whiskey, and I'll see how it is. But yeah, I'll get a shot.
In it, he actually sponsors the Eternal event, so the Eternal cage always has like a fucking Proper 12 fucking logo on it.
Yeah, McGregor's got for the last tough fight. I looked at the canvas and 4 of the sponsorships are all McGregor things. It was McGregor Fast, Proper Number 12. Another thing, there was another McGregor program. He's got the entire fucking cage covered in his own companies and that, like the Black Forge as well.
Yeah, fucking. Man's fucking got he's just got everything. He'll surely become a billionaire eventually, I reckon.
Yeah, well, it was for the cowboy fight. They showed a graph that said it was the richest sportsman of that year or something like that. So I mean, he's already getting them. Fuck it. For a guy who's an MMA fighter to get that level, fucking respect, man. I've always had a lot of respect for McGregor. I will root for him against Chandler. I don't know. I've always root for him, man. I don't know why. Even through all the fucking shit, I know people always turned on him, but I don't know, man. It's just a fucking cool fucking story. Do you know what I mean? I never get tired of listening to the McGregor upbringing and stuff like that, and that's why I love the documentary as well. Not just because it's got the fucking Emmy Guru in it, but the actual content's of it as well. But yeah, I will be rooting for McGregor against Chandler, and to get to his level through fucking MMA, which is such a new sport, you got to fucking respect him for it.
Yeah, a lot of fighters fucking hate on McGregor, but without McGregor, the UFC would not be as big as it is now. And I know a lot of people say, well, there was Brock Lesnar and all this stuff before, but McGregor literally turned the sport mainstream in a whole different area of the world and everything. I don't think MMA was really that big in Ireland. It's probably big in the UK, but it definitely became bigger after what he did.
Yeah, if you go out just anywhere in the world, you go out to someone in the fucking street and ask them, do you know who Conor McGregor is, compared to the guys who are considered current stars right now? Do you know who Adesanya is? Do you know who this guy is? Everyone, well, not everyone, I can't say everyone, but people will know who McGregor is. Even if you go to fucking Middle Eastern countries and shit like that, you go into Russia, people fucking know McGregor because he fought Khabib. Do you know what I mean? He's got that fucking reach across the world.
Have you been watching The Ultimate Fighter?
I have. I've been paying attention very closely to The Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, I'm fucking devastated that Lee Hammond fucking lost. He seemed like a really good prospect.
The people I picked Hammond won for the lightweights and I picked Valiev to win for the bantamweights, and I was like, I've got it right, man, because Valiev won and then Hammond was on his way to win and they got fucking it was a guillotine round, it was a mounted guillotine type of stuff. I seen him he cornered Kiefer Crosby against that fucking guy that he fought on the Kingpin card with like King Kenny and Easton Gibbon. That I seen him in the corner there, so he's done right for himself, and he's still young as well. So he'll probably get a contender series or something. I could see him putting him like week 10 of the contender series against a guy for the Cage War or something like that. I could see him doing that, honestly.
Yeah, it just sucks because he was like dominating against Holograph as well. So it's like, and that like he's not a bad fighter either. And he was dominating him, especially with how young he is and everything. I reckon he'll eventually make it to the UFC.
I think so. I've been trying to make it a mission to watch every season of The Ultimate Fighter. I've not been doing like any order, but I've got like the last like 12 I think done. I'm trying to get through the one I'm on right now is fucking Edgar versus Penn, and some of them are a lot slower than other ones. A lot of them are like every fight was a fucking KO, brutal KO. But some of them, like, I look through the results and I'm trying to get through the episodes. Some of them are just all fucking decisions, man. It's tough to get through some of them.
Did you watch the, I think, was it Matt Hughes versus Rich Franklin? Like, it's the coach?
Nah. So the early ones, I've watched all like the most recent ones. The early ones are the ones I'm about to get to soon.
Yeah, I was going to say, apparently Matt Hughes was like a really shit tough coach, but I haven't actually watched his season before.
The shittest coach so far, Eddie Alvarez was a bad coach. Great fight. He was a fucking terrible coach. That fucking clip with him and Lauren Murphy, he calls him fucking the wrong name. That's so funny. I don't know why.
Actually, I think the worst coach was Ken Shamrock when it was him versus Tito Ortiz. Instead of like helping train his like team and everything, he just made them play pool.
Alvarez, I think. Oh, hold on, carry on, and I'll talk about this. So.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, yeah, he just made them play pool or something, and then he went and did his own fucking shit. Like, bro, what the fuck are you doing, Ken Shamrock? You're literally like a legend of the sport. Help train these guys become fucking better fighters.
I think what they said in the show is Eddie Alvarez. He went into the house because like the coaches don't have to go to the house. They can have their own hotel and shit. But the actual fighter house, Eddie Alvarez went in there and like kicked them out and brought all his boys in to use the fucking video game system and just had a full night in the fucking tough house and kicked them all out to fucking play like COD or something with his boys. I thought that was so funny. Like, he was a shit coach, but it was fucking funny as fuck. Seeing him bully Lauren Murphy to the full line. It was so funny, I don't know why.
How do you rate McGregor's like coaching this season?
I think here's the thing, people are really harsh on him because no amount of fucking him showing up to the weigh-ins changes Quinones getting fucking gilled or triangled in that amount of time. Nothing changes that. Nothing changes Gentleman getting one punch killed by Roosevelt Roberts. And he's got a really weird style of coaching, but when you watch him train, like he does care. Like the way you watch him when he's teaching guys how to hit the bag and that, he's really intricate. And he's telling them like techniques that he really seems to care about. Like, he's not just going in there and doing, oh, you do that, you do that. Like, he's coming up to them all, getting personal and that, showing them all the little fucking techniques, the uppercut and all the little correct sweet spots to hit. Like, he's actually trying, I think. Like, I know he might not be there for the face-offs and that, which, you know, is however you want to look at that, that's fair. But I don't think you can say he's not trying. Like, he is. When you watch him at the bits in the show, he is showing up and he is, like, trying his best to show these guys fucking technique and that. So I think he does care and he cares about the sport and the technique and that. But it just hasn't had the best selection of prospects from America, let's be honest.
Yeah, especially like the guys, like people are gonna like shit on him, but it's like he can't completely change how these fighters fight instantly. You know, like coaching, doesn't fucking instantly work. And also, yeah, he's like the guys he got, like the level of competition is a lot worse than the guys that Michael Chandler got for his team.
I was really excited for him to do a UK or like a Europe versus US again. I thought that's what they were going to do. They were going to get all the fucking guys from Cage Warriors versus all the top guys from like Elephant and CFFC and shit. I thought that's what they were going to do, but no, they just picked some of the shittest. They always fucking do it, man. I swear, the US fighters get the most bias to them. They get such easy routes to the UFC, I swear. The UFC fighters.
Yeah, like besides Hammond, I was not really like high on any like fighter getting signed off this season. Like normally, like with the Volk season, I was like, oh, Brian Battle, he seems like an interesting prospect. Like Andre Petroski, he seems alright. Oh, Trishan Gore, he seems good. Yeah. But it's like this season, there's like no one who I can really like see doing anything in the UFC, like respectfully. Like I don't think Roosevelt Roberts is going to go on like a Charles Oliveira type run if he wins this season.
That's the thing, like, because let's be honest, like the school he was the last guy to go to Madrid. The school he ain't winning. Let's be honest, like probably just isn't winning. I know he beat Azure, but I don't think he wins. So other than that, all the guys who've got to get are guys who we've seen get to the UFC before and lose. Like the guys that are going to win are going to be like it's got to be Hubbard or Roberts, and we've seen Hubbard and Roberts aren't even fucking ranked in the UFC level.
Yeah.
So it's just not a crazy good in fucking investment. Like, at least with like you said, battling that we've never seen battling these since it went on. Both of them, Petrosky and Battleland, Fraser and Gore. I went to do pretty well. Even fucking Brady Heaston as well, who didn't even win the season. They all went to do pretty well for themselves in the UFC. But yeah, this season it's like we know what probably happens as well, and a lot of the guys are older as well, so it's tough to get invested.
Yeah, it's just been a weird selection of talent. Like, especially Valiev being on tough is like fucking weird because he shouldn't have even really been cut in the first place.
Because he only lost to because it was that no contest with Trevin Jones
With
and then
Trevin Jones.
And then draw was it? Oh no, it was meant that it was going to be a draw. It should have been a draw. He beat Barcelona right, but like people said it should have been a draw, and he lost to Jack Shore, and he beat that fucking Martin Day guy as well. So he wasn't terrible in the UFC. He didn't have like a crazy bad record, and he was the guys he lost to was like Jack Shore's not a bad loss at all. But yeah, you look
And
at
I
him
think he
compared to
was
like
ranked at
Corey
one
Gibson.
point too. I think Tamir was ranked briefly at one
Probably
point.
was,
Yeah, after
probably
the
was.
Barlos fight, I think they ranked him.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, probably. But then he lost a decently competitive fight to Jack Shaw, but he got hurt in the feet and lost grappling moments. But yeah, compared to him, like Cody Gibson, who hasn't been in the UFC in ages, it felt a bit weird. Yeah.
Yeah, it's fuck. I like when they like don't try and bring in like old veterans and everything. Like tough should be about making new talent, not like bringing in old talent. I reckon.
No, yeah. They did my favourite season that I've watched so far was the Redemption season where they got in all the guys who've been in it before. But that was kind of just because it was fucking Dillashaw and Garbrandt. That was honestly my favourite season, man. That or McGregor Faber. But that season is so entertaining. There's literally I can't remember who it was, but there was a guy, a really old guy, and he's an established name, I can't remember who it is, but it was on I think the first tough season and he fought someone who was dangerous, a power puncher. And I think who was that guy who's been beat in the final from the ATT?
He was
The kind of the Middle Eastern sounding guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say the name's like ringing a bell.
Fuck.
Hassan, something Hassan, isn't it?
Yeah. Fuck. Oh,
Haider Hassan.
Haider Hassan, yes, that guy. He fought this old guy. Fought him. Fuck. I can remember that other guy's name as well, but I can't remember. It was this guy with a beard. It looks a bit like Johnny Hendricks, but it wasn't him. And he fought Haider Hassan, and he got fucking slept bad in the first round. I think it was Garbrandt who came in and just started talking shit to Dillashaw as he was recovering from the KOs all over the place, and he just tried to come back to Garbrandt just fucking talking shit right in front of his face, saying about how bad he is. I thought it was funny.
Poor cunt.
No, I know. I've got like fucking 10% battery left, by the way.
Oh fuck! On your laptop or?
I'm using my phone. I just got a notification saying I've got like 20% left, and it's down to 10.
Oh shit! Do you have a charger or something?
Yeah, but I've got a shit behind me in this fucking wall. You've got 2 fucking tables that I need to fucking move it the way to get the fucking outlet as well. So I don't know. I've got to forget.
Oh fuck! Well, I guess when it dies, it dies. I guess I'll end this when it dies.
Yeah. I've probably got about 5 minutes worth of it left, I think.
Yeah. Fucking. Was it Joe Stevenson that he knocked out?
Yeah, that might be it. I was thinking Joe something, but yeah, he was kind of short kind of guy. He grew a beard, I think, for that one. He was married to someone as well. He was married to someone who was in the UFC, I think. Joe, yeah, that's probably it, man. Joe Stevenson. What was it? Did he have a nickname? That might give it away. I feel like he had a nickname he used.
Joe Stevenson's nickname? I'm not joking. His nickname was Daddy.
Daddy. I think that actually was it. I think they called him Daddy Joe or something. That's what I was thinking. So I think it was him.
It's weird that he was on tough because like he had like a long UFC career. He actually fought BJ Penn for the UFC lightweight championship.
Yeah, and I think he was on maybe the first season, maybe it was a really early season of tough he was on, and he might have won it as well. I think, or he came close to winning it, but then they brought him back and he got fucking slept badly. It was terrible.
Yeah, he beat Nate Diaz back in the day too.
Yeah, I can't remember. He was definitely married to someone who was a fighter. Maybe not in the UFC, but he was married to someone who was a woman's fighter. I can't remember who it was though.
Let me check. No, fuck, it doesn't even say. Yeah, I actually haven't watched that season though. I should probably watch the Redemption. I've heard like pretty good things
Bro,
about it.
that's the fucking best season. It's got like who was that guy? Ramsey Nijum as well, who was taking the piss out of Corey Garbrandt the entire time and got on his nails. That was really good. That was funny.
The only thing that's annoying is like fucking Jesse Taylor won it and then fucking popped
Yeah,
straight after. There's like
Jesse
no
Tillman
reason.
ruined three of the biggest opportunities in his entire career. Ruined his first tough win that he was going to win, let's be honest. One tough and then fucked it, and could have honestly, Jesse Taylor could have been the guy to stop Bilal Muhammad early. He was meant to fight Bilal Muhammad, he probably could have beat him, honestly.
Yeah.
And then was meant to fight CLD on New Year's, and for some reason was out at fucking 1 a.m. before a title fight and got hit by a fucking car. Absolute idiot, man. I don't know what he was doing.
Especially because he's not from the fucking UK. So like, why is he
Yeah.
roaming around the fucking streets?
Yeah,
It's
1
like he
a.m.
lives.
before you've got a fucking title fight. Like, what are you doing, man? I don't know. That annoyed me so much. That was honestly so annoying.
Yeah, but I guess it turned out for him to be a blessing because
True.
Duncan got signed instantly after that.
Yeah,
Literally the same guy.
I'm assuming that was just he got told if you win this you're getting signed, so they just signed him anyway. But yeah, that would I think that was honestly a win for him that would have just got. That would have been an established name. I think we'd have subbed him. Honestly. Jesse Taylor, like, and similar to Michael Chiesa, he grapples but gets subbed all the time. He just got subbed recently as well to I think Jared Revel or something on like some Canadian regional show. So I think CLD would have took us back and subbed him or something. And that would have been like a good win for him having his record going forward. But yeah, fucking ruined it, man.
Yeah, 16 losses by submission, 0 by
Yeah.
knockout. Wow, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
He back in the day, he actually trained with Jack Della, and apparently Jack Della like just fucking teed off on him.
Yeah, I think he told me this when I think the fight got with him and CLD got announced that Jack Del Mar just fucking battered him in sparring, I think.
Yeah, and this was when like Jack was just like, I think 6 fights into his career or something like that. Like he was like just the eternal champion, and Jesse Taylor put out a post saying about how this guy's going to be the future and all this stuff.
Well, I mean, it wasn't wrong before.
Yeah,
Decent eyes, bro.
fucking. I feel like so many people are off the JDM hype train after the Basil performance, but I reckon if he fights Brady, I reckon he'll beat Brady. Like I feel like people are underestimating Basil's like fucking durability and just like explosiveness compared to like Sean Brady.
Yeah,
Sean Brady's good.
That's one of the things I want people to consider. If that is anyone else, if that's Sean Brady, he ain't taking them punches and coming forward. Do you know what I mean? People need to consider that as well, part of it.
Like exactly, like Basil has like a lot more fucking durability than Sean Brady. Like Sean Brady got fucking TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. Like that's not the only reason I think fucking JDM's gonna win, but like
Yeah,
I don't think Basil
got
is
finished by
getting
case
TKO'd.
as well.
Yeah, like I don't think Basil is gonna get fucking TKO'd by Bilal Muhammad. Like
Yeah.
that guy's got some fucking weird durability, and then on top of all that, like he's not shooting takedowns like fucking Basil Hafez either. Like Sean Brady's takedowns aren't really like that good. I know he's a really strong guy, and like if he gets on top of you, he's really strong. But like his takedowns aren't that good, especially compared to Basil.
I think the way I look at it is people are so focused on people are addressing JDM's close performance immediately go to oh well, what if Basil Hafez is getting him down and almost getting these positions? What happens if it's Sean Brady? You need to also look at it as what if it's Sean Brady taking those punches? You know what I mean? You can't just look at it one way and say if it's Sean Brady there, he's subbing JDM. Sean Brady ain't taking the punches they need to take to get him down, which Hafez did because he was just tough as fucking could just power through it. Brady ain't taking them punches.
Exactly, and also a lot of people are like thinking that Jack has like no takedown defense or something. The only reason he was taken down, besides that first takedown, is because he kept going for the fucking gillies. Like he stuffed, I think was it 15 takedowns or something crazy like that. Like Sean Brady's gassing out if he shoots that many takedowns, and he's getting knocked out against the fence. Like,
yeah, I mean they'll probably book it for the Sydney card, but I'll pick JDM to be honest.
Yeah, I actually reckon JDM will end up getting a different opponent. I don't think Sean Brady's going to travel to Sydney.
Is that like a rumor that's going about that he just won't do it, or is there?
JDM doesn't reckon Brady will take it, but I'll try and see if I can confirm if like Jack has an opponent or anything yet. But I don't know who will end up fighting though. Like he might end up getting like another unranked guy. Honestly, he could end up probably getting Joaquin Buckley, but it's not confirmed or anything. I'm just assuming.
I wouldn't mind that. Buckley was going to fight in Battle, but apparently that fight never ended up getting through.
Yeah, and then but also Buckley's got that whole thing with the Lazy King at the moment, which hopefully
yeah.
Lazy King gets signed to the UFC because like the French fans are like fucking every post they're posting like photos with like a flag like with the Lazy King on it on every single post when someone gets signed to the UFC. So I hope they get their wish and I hope the Lazy King gets signed.
I don't know what's taking him so fucking long. Like, I don't get why for some fighters it's such an effort to get into the UFC, and others it just seems like any moment they get signed.
Yeah, especially because like he's 16-1, isn't he? Like he has a really good
Yeah.
record. He actually has like an interesting personality as well. Like he's not just like a, I'm gonna smash this guy like type of Dagestani. Like he actually has his own personality and stuff like that.
100%. But I've got like 3% battery left. Do you want to wrap this up quickly so we can just fucking?
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah. Well, I've got 3 minutes left in this. I think. I'm not sure the accuracy of how long it takes for that percentage to go down, but yeah, I'm fucking struggling over here.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Well, this concludes the first episode of the MMA Commonwealth Connection. We'll have to do another one very soon. But I'd say episode 1 went well. We made a few enemies.
Yeah, definitely established a fucking position on a couple of things. I mean, yeah, I don't think Pori will take it too badly. I doubt if he fucking seen in the first place, but if this does finish what it does in Pori, it is all in good fun. I've picked you in every fight of the career, mate, so please don't take it in a bad way. And I'm picking you to beat Gaethje as well, so please don't come after me like that. But Mike Jackson, that's a different situation. So.
And Pat Barry, we're not accusing you of anything.
It's all fun and games. Mate. That's how it is.
We're just playing characters. Just playing characters.
Literally a fucking character. I don't even mean anything I've said in this at all. I don't even think fucking Holland meets Case or anything. This is all a character just to fit this narrative. That's it.
Well, hopefully, hopefully this one doesn't get too many views, and then maybe we can get those people on the podcast, and then we'll tell them, by the way, go rewatch the first episode we made.
Bro, if we can get fucking Pat Barry in the podcast, I'll take that as a fucking win, honestly. I would not mind that. If Pat Barry wants to come on the podcast, I'll fucking say yes, absolutely.
Yeah, we can get Pat Barry, and then we can also get Chris Hansen on here too.
No issue, man. Yeah, and then maybe we can get my fucking gran to come on with fucking Pat Miltich, and they can talk about fucking Soul or something.
Fucking hell. Well,
some common links, but yeah. And that was fucking sound, man. If you want to do another of these soon, I'm not against that at all. That's just fucking good. If we can get a fucking consistent time period sorted out for these because of the fucking time difference, that'd be good.
Yeah, no, definitely.
for us, but yeah.
Nah, easy as fucking. We'll keep doing these. I actually enjoy doing these. Like fucking, it's entertaining as fuck. You're a funny guy.
And I appreciate it, man. I mean, I'm starting to get back in, and I'm going to do some interviews now, hopefully soon. And hopefully we can get like a fighter on. Like I said, it'll be easier for me to get some like UK guy or Australian guy than it would be to get Pat Barry or something. But yeah, definitely done that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, easy, mate. Well, have a good rest of your day.
Nah, same to you, man. I know it's probably quite late there as well, but I've still got the fucking rest of my day to go.
Yeah, no, I'll probably head to bed soon. So easy as, mate.
No, but mate, message me whenever you want to done these again, the link and everything. But yeah, safe, man.
Yeah, easy. You have a good one. Catch up.
See you, man.